Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, students, in this beautiful day? I hope that you're excited about today's lessons, and I hope that your young minds is as eager and hungry as ever. Before we indulge in today's lesson, let's revise the last lesson, which was the ways of or the means of communication. Here's a question. Name some different means of communication through time. Of course, if you remember last lesson, we took some, in the reading lesson, we took some means of communication in the previous time, the old times, and nowadays. Can you name me some or all that were mentioned in the last passage? Yes, let's begin. Number one is a chain of fires on mountaintops. A chain of fire on mountaintops, that's correct. The second one was, yes, the second one was smoke from fires to transmit messages. The smokes from fires to transmit or to send messages. The third one is signal towers that people shouted from. They got in the top of the towers and then they shouted with the highest voice they have. That's correct. Next is drum talk. Drum talk. I asked a question about this drum talk. How do they mimic the sound with the high volume and the low volume? That's correct. And the last one is the nowadays one. Yes, by letter, telegraph, telephone, or email. Very good. So let's move on to today's lesson, which is writing. Of course, you remember the emails that we took previously on pages 6 and 7. So today we'll be asking some questions about these emails, which will help you to write emails correctly. I hope that your hands are ready today, so we will be writing very much. So let's read the questions. Work in pairs. Compare the emails from Mr. Maynard and Melanie on pages 6 and 7. Make notes in the chart below. So these are the emails from Mr. Maynard and Melanie, and we'll be comparing them according to the table or the chart that we have. So this is the chart. So this is the chart. And this one is the page 6 and page 7. Page 6 and page 7. Keep your books with you. The first one is from. The first email will be comparing from. How did they identify themselves? The first one is from who? Yes. That's correct. So let's get back to the emails and read them. Dear Mr. Silva, I want to apologize for not answering your email sooner. I've been on the road for the last few days and I got back only yesterday. This is the from place. From who? From Jonathan Maynard. From Jonathan Maynard. We'll be filling the chart now from Jonathan Maynard. Try to memorize all the information here from to the opening passage, all of them, from Jonathan Maynard. The second one to Olivia. But from who? From who? Your best friend, Melanie. Your best friend, sorry, here. You can see it, your best friend, Melanie. So the first one is from Jonathan Maynard, import manager. Jonathan Maynard, import manager. And the second one is from Melanie. And the second one is from Melanie. Two. Who are they sending their emails to? Jonathan and Melanie. Who are they sending their emails to? You can get back to the pages. You can get back to the pages now and read them. To, who are they sending them to? Yes, that's correct. Mr. Jonathan Maynard is sending it to Mr. Silva, because in the beginning he said, "Dear Mr. Silva." And Melanie is sending it to Olivia. She's her friend, of course. Olivia. Okay, the next one, the greeting. How did they greet? Are they the same? Of course, we took before there's formal and informal way. The formal way and the informal way between friends. So, the greetings. How did Mr. Maynard greet Mr. Silva? How did Mr. Maynard greet Mr. Silva? Okay, get back to the page. Yes, that's correct. He said, "Dear Mr. Silva." This is the formal way, of course. "Dear Mr. Silva." This is the formal way because they are business partners. "Dear Mr. Silva." And how did Melanie greet Olivia? Will she use the formal way? No. Of course, the informal way because she is her friend. So what did she say? She said, "Hi, Olivia." Hi, Olivia. Just casual. Hi, Olivia. Hi or hello. But what she said in her email, "Hi, Olivia." Next one, opening lines. Opening lines. Mr. Jonathan Maynard, how did he open the email? What's the opening line? Yes, you can get back to the email. Okay, very good. What did he say? "I want to apologize for not answering your email sooner." I want to apologize for not answering your email sooner. And what did what did Melanie said? How did Melanie open her email? What was the opening line? Yes, housework and house Paris. Housework and house Paris. That's correct. Okay, next. The topic, the information content. The topic, the main reason, the topic, the information content. What was the topic of Mr. Maynard's email? Again, what was the topic in Mr. Maynard's email? Yes, very good. New suppliers, new business. New suppliers and new business. He wants to make a business deal with him. As I said before, they are business partners. What about Melanie? What about Melanie's email? What was the topic? Melanie's email. What was the topic? Why did she send the email? Yes, that's correct. Pending visit, stay with friend, weather in Paris. So she has 3 topics. Pending visit, she wants to visit her. Stay with friend, she wants to stay with her if it's not inconvenient. And the last one, the weather in Paris. If you remember in the last of the email, she asked her about the weather in Paris. So moving on, the next one, the closing lines. So we took before the opening lines, now we're taking the closing lines. How did Mr. Jonathan Maynard close his email? What was the closing lines for his email? Yes, that's correct. Best regards. Remember, this is the formal way. The formal way, if you want to close your email, you say best regards. Best regards. What about Melanie? What about Melanie? This is the informal way. She's sending the email to her friend. Will she say best regards? Of course not. She will use the informal way. She will say your best friend. Your friend, your best friend, Melanie. Then she will say her name, of course. Signed. How did they mention their name? Signed. How did they address themselves to the other part of the email? To her. How did Melanie address herself to her friend? And how did Mr. Maynard address himself to Mr. Silva? So let's begin with Mr. Maynard. How did he sign? Jonathan Maynard. J. Maynard. It's Jonathan Maynard. What about Melanie? She just wrote Melanie. She just wrote her name because she's talking to her friend. There's no need for there's no need for formality. And the last part is the purpose of the email, the main reason now, the purpose of the email. For Mr. Maynard, what was the purpose of the email? Yes, that's correct. To reply to a business proposition. To reply to a business proposition. As I said before, they're business partners. So he had a business proposition. Now he is replying to him. What about Melanie? What was the purpose of the email? Okay. To keep in touch and ask for information. To keep in touch. She wants to keep in touch with her friend and also ask about information about staying in Paris, about the weather and all. So, thank you. That was a tough chart. Moving on. Here we have another chart. We'll be beginning another chart in the new email. So leave the previous ones and then with a new email. Read the email. We will be reading it now. Read the email from Adil to his friend in the USA and answer the questions. So pay attention to details in this email because we will be asking you about these questions. So there are comprehension questions. Where did Adil spend the summer? Where did Adil spend the summer? The second one, what time of year is it? What time of year is it? The third one, how does Adil feel about starting school again? How does he feel about starting school again? Why is he excited about the weekend? Again, why is he excited about the weekend? This is the first question. The second one, what does PS stand for? Why do we use it? What does PS? So pay attention to the PS part in this email. What does PS stand for and why do we use it? The last question is, which email in your book is this email similar to? How do you know? So here they're asking about the similarities. And how do you know? What signs did you see to judge that this email is similar to this email? So pay attention to details. Of course, this is the picture of Adil and his friends. So this is the email from Adil to, of course, you can see Brian. Let's hear the audio clip about this email. And as I said before, pay attention because you will be answering the question that I just said. Let's begin.
Page 15. 10. Writing.
To Brian@megagoal.com. Subject, back to school. Attachment, JPEG.200. Hi, Brian. How are you doing? Did you have a good summer? How's school? I guess you've just started again, right? Well, that's life. I am attaching a photo of us at the game. How do you like it? We look good, huh? This is our first week back, and everyone is trying to get used to getting up early, spending most of the day at school, then home, homework, etc. But we have some great plans for the weekend. We'll drive to the desert with my cousins and spend the night there. I wish you could come along. It would be so much fun. Guess what? My father promised to let me drive the Jeep in the desert. Isn't that cool? What about you? Any special plans for the weekend? Don't forget, it's your turn next summer. You are going to come to Saudi and stay with us. I'd better not talk about the summer now. Time to get organized and get down to homework. Give my best to your family. Idil. P.S. My teacher complimented me on my English. I told him I had spent 2 months practicing with my friend.
Okay, so this is the email from Adil to his friend Brian. Before we jump to the questions, let's get back to the chart, the information that we just answered about the chart from to how did they address themselves? Is it formal or informal? Let's check. So this is an email to Brian, because he said here, hi Brian. So is this formal or informal? Is this email formal or informal? He said, "Hi, Brian." Not "Dear Mr. Brian." That's correct. This is informal. Of course, you can see that they're friends from the picture. "Hi, Brian." And how did he end it? How did he end it? He said, what? "Give my best to your family." So he knows his family. So this is very obvious that it's informal. Very obvious that they are close friends, because he said, "Say hi to your family," or here, "Give my best to your family." And how did he mention his name at the end? Did he say Mr. Adil? No, he just wrote Adil. So this is an informal email from a friend to his friend. He said, "Hi, Brian, give my best to your family, Adil." And this is the PS. This is here the PS that I'm going to ask you about. PS. My teacher complimented me on my English. I told him I had spent 2 months practicing with my friend. So I'm going to ask you about this PS. Let's jump to the questions. The first one. Where did Adil spend his summer? Where did Adil spend his summer? We read the email. Now you know. You can check if you want. Where did Adil spend his summer? Yes, very good. Adil spent the summer in the USA. Maybe playing baseball from the picture. Adil spent the summer in the USA. Second question. What time of year is it? The second question here. What time of year is it? Okay, very good. It's early autumn. It's early autumn, or fall, if you want to say it fall. Fall or autumn, they're the same. It's early autumn. Next question. How does Adil feel about starting school again? How does Adil feel about starting school again? The school will be starting again. Is he excited? Is he happy? Is he not happy? What? Yes. He doesn't feel very happy because he has to get up early, spend the whole day at school, and do homework. He doesn't feel very happy because maybe he's lazy or something. He has to get up early and do all the homeworks and write all the writings. So he's not very excited about it. So, next question. Why is he excited about the weekend? Why is he excited about the weekend? So when the weekend is coming, why is Adil excited? Yes, he's excited about the weekend because his father has promised to let him drive the Jeep in the desert. So the weather is nice. The weekend, his father told him that they will be going to the desert and he will let him drive the Jeep. So he's very excited to drive, or maybe learning how to drive the Jeep. Next one, the second question. So this is the PS question. What does the PS stand for? Why do we use it? You saw the PS at the end of the email. What does it stand for and why do we use it? Yes, the PS stands for postscript. Postscript. Why do we use it? Postscript is writing added after the main letter, which means if you wrote an email and at the ending you want to add something, you write PS and then you write what you want. Postscript, something added after the ending of the email. And the third question is, Which email in your book is the email similar to? Is this email for Adil similar to? How do you know? So in this book, we took it previously, there's an email similar. It's the same as Adil's. Which one is it? It's very obvious, of course. And how do you know? What were the signals? Yes. The email is similar to the email on page 7 from Melanie to Olivia, because they're both friends. The informal way from Melanie to Olivia. You can see here the greeting is hi Brian. There was hi Olivia. The opening line, how are you doing? Did you have a good summer? The content has to do with what the two friends share and what is special about their lives. They're friends, so they share some memories, of course. The closing, give my best to your family. The closing, give my best to your family. The closing in Melanie's email, your best friend. So this is extremely casual and informal. And signed Adil, first name. As before, signed Melanie, informal way. And the right-hand corner, when you write an email to a friend, this is some instructions. Greet and sign your letter in an informal manner. In an informal manner or an informal way. As I said before, if you want to write to your friend, write in an informal way, informal manner. For example, hi, hello, dear, and then his first name. His first name. Dear Abdullah, dear Muna, or hi, hello. And the first name, not the last name, the first name. And the ending is best wishes, see you soon, take care, and then your first name. See you soon, Brahim, see you soon, and then write your name. This is, of course, the ending. Write as if you were speaking to him or her. For example, the contracted forms, the emoticons, and the abbreviations. Use the contracted forms, not they are, there, not I am, I'm, and so. And the emojis, of course you know it. So this is the informal way. But here, if you want to write to a business or professional contact, the formal way, this is how it's done. Address and sign the letter more formally. Again, more formally. For example, dear sir, madam, dear Mr. or Mrs. And here the last name. Here it's the first name. Here it's the last name, the family name. The last name is the family name. Dear Mr. something, the family name. And when you want to end the email, kind regards, best regards, sincerely. So this is the formal way. Don't use contracted or abbreviated forms. Don't use contracted forms. I am. And of course, don't use emojis. No emojis here. And this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for listening. See you next lesson, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.